everyone, and I hope you're doing well. Today we have our deck list for the Extra Zero Festival, the festival where we can't play a single extra deck card. As always, Konami have released kind of a new deck very recently that works very well under these rules, and the deck this time is Shining Sarcophagus, the new Yugioh archetype, kind of retrains. And I have to say, this is one of the easiest events I've ever grinded. I got all the gems in about an hour with this deck because the games are so fast, and we'll see that when we get to the replays. But for now, let's go through the card by card. So for starters, we have 3 Ash Blossom. I mean, it's Ash Blossom, even without Maxi, it's insane. But especially here, against our own deck, Ash Blossom kills us. So pretty much a win-win, especially when it's a big bad of the event. We have 1 more Marshmallow because it's really annoying, especially in the mirror match. Can't be destroyed by battle. You can special summon it. You can run 2. I decided not to just because you don't really want to see it that often. We have 2 Silent Swordsman 0 because we don't want to draw into both of them before Ties That Bind. This is your target negation, so if a card targets a Shining Sarc card, you can negate it if it has an increased level. And Silent Magician 0 is similar with the increased levels, but it's a spell negate. Now for our main starter, we have Gadget Trio. When normal, special summon to add a Shining Sarcophagus or spell or trap that mentions it. 99% of the time you're going to grab the Shining Sarcophagus because that can search another Shining Sarcophagus card as well. Now if you're playing against this deck, this is the card you want to hit. Imperm it, Effect Veiler it, Ash it. This is our weak point, and I'm sure you'll see that in the replays as well. To replace the Maxi, we do have a couple of Bestials. We have Magnemite and Druisworm. Just nice to have. Honestly, not amazing into the format that we're playing in, but still pretty good. We have 2 Dark Magician, the Magician of Black Magic. Love that name. Nice special summon, and it does get you a search, technically, but it's just basically a big beater. Next, we have the boss monster of the deck. We have Gandora G. He is the G. He is the guy. And he gains 300 attack for each banished card. Gren Maju, my beloved. Aww. And you can special summon him if you control Shining Sarc. Once per turn, you can pay half your life points, destroy it, and then banish every card on the field, or as many as possible. And then special summon a level 7 or lower monster that mentions Shining Sarc from your deck, and then increase its level, but that doesn't matter. So essentially, you summon this out, blow everything up, and then you have a big beefy boy, plus usually the Dark Magician that you special out, or another Gandora, or possibly the Silent Magician 0. So this is your big win condition, and it's really satisfying to activate. Now moving on to the spells and traps. So a couple of generic spells. We have a Raigeki and a Harpies. In this event, people just concede as soon as something goes wrong, so you activate this and you pretty much win. We have 1 Ties That Bind, mainly because we're searching it. If you control a Shining Sarc monster, you can special summon up to 2 level 4 or lower monsters that mention Shining Sarc from hand or deck, so grabbing these 2. Be warned, you can't summon from the extra deck. Oh no! What are we gonna do? Not our lovely extra deck. But yeah, that is like a nice turn 1. It's very easy to play. We have 3 Shining Sarcophagus, the core card of the deck. This is another starter. Again, if you can ash this, ash it, but be warned it is once per turn, so next turn they can do it again. Bear in mind as well that the Shining Sarcophagus cannot be destroyed by monster effects, so Ghost Ogre will not work on this. Similarly, it is the reason Gandora works, because it can't destroy the Shining Sarcophagus, so it stays, keeps everything else on the field. Just worth noting. Moving on to Cosmic Cyclone. As I've said, there are a lot of Shining Sarcophagi around, so Cosmic Cyclone is here for them, but it is also just a really good card against many decks, including Yugioh. I know that is another big bad. Now on to the hand trap counters. We have 2 Called By, 1 Cross Out. I mean, again, people concede quickly. You stop them from ashing your Gadget Trio, they'll probably concede. We have 2 Turn Silence. This is a really fun card. I really like it. It's basically a negate of anything if you chain it to an activation while you control Shining Sarcophagus and a monster that mentions it. Furthermore, in the graveyard, you can banish it and end your opponent's battle phase. So, amazing card. Stop a battle phase and a negate. It's really good. Future Silence is another way to get into our Gadget Trio. Add a monster that mentions Shining Sarc. 99.9% of the time you're grabbing Gadget Trio. On the other 0.01%, probably Gandora. Moving on, we have Dimensional Barrier. Now, this is a really weird include, especially for a no extra deck festival, but the reason it's in here is because there are a few ritual decks going about, and if you activate this, they will concede because they can't summon any rituals or activate them. So that's why they're in here, and I actually crafted this royal while making the deck, so I had to put it in. Lastly, we have 3 Imperm. which is a good card, and one Destined Rivals. So when Dark Magician, the Magician of Black Magic, is destroyed, it can search a spell or trap that mentions Dark Magician, and Destined Rivals appears to be the best one. Whilst you control a Dark Magician, negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls, and this guy is treated as Dark Magician. So that is the deck. Let's jump into a couple of games and show you how efficient this deck is in this event. Going into game number 1, now this is the longest game of the 4 games we have, and it's exactly 4 turns, so get ready for some fast games. We've got a decent hand here, as long as this Future Silence doesn't get ashed, and thankfully it doesn't. We're going to search for the Gadget Trio. Normal summon the Gadget Trio, effect to search, and now you can imagine if we got hand trapped here, we'd be pretty much dead, so that's why this deck is so weak. But we'll activate the Shining Sarcophagus. Shining Sarcophagus will search the Ties That Bind. Ties That Bind will activate, special summoning the Swordsman 0 and the Magician 0. We'll set the Cosmic Cyclone and the turn silence. When it turns to his turn in the draw phase, we'll get a level on the Magician, and the standby will get one on the Swordsman 0. So we've got a target negate and a spell negate. He's going to summon a wagon, change it to defense, attempt to change it back to attack, but no, we've got to turn silence. Not only does it increase my level, it negates your effects as well as a little bonus effect. We love turn silence. I think it's my favorite card of the archetype. He equips soul horns to the wagon and always turn silence again. Banish that from the graveyard to end the battle phase. He's going to equip the soul piercer to the wagon and end his turn. We're in a really good position here. We have a lot more than we could ever ask for, and then we top deck a Harpy's Feather Duster. How perfect is that? Harpy's Feather Duster is going to clear up those equips from the back row, and now we can simply clean up, especially because he tries to activate the Soul Piercer, and we can negate it with another turn silence, and all of a sudden, that's it. I mean, to be fair, I don't think we could have drawn better, considering our opponent's hand. Going into game number 2, we're going against TrueDraco, and boy am I happy that TrueDraco is back in the format. It's so nostalgic. Oh my god, that's 5 sets. Okay, well, we can work with this. We'll start with the Shining Sarcophagus. He's going to activate Imperial Custom, which is a card I've only ever seen in Edison, so interesting to see that in this format. We'll go for the Shining Sarcophagus effect to search, grab the Gadget Trio. We're going to attempt to search with the Gadget Trio, but he activates Apophis to special summon it and negate the Gadget Trio, but we can chain the Future Silence to still get a search, and we will search the Gandora G. He will now special summon the Apophis and negate the Gadget Trio, which is fine. We can now special summon the Gandora because we control the Shining Sarcophagus, and now we can do the big boy effect, pay half our life points, destroy everything, and kill our opponent. I told you these games would be fast. 2 turns. 2 turns. Going into these next 2 replays, it showcases perfectly what it's like to play Shining Sarcophagus from both sides, especially in this event. So we're going second in this replay, and we do have the Gadget Trio, which is perfect. Unfortunately, his first turn was terrible. Must have 5 hand traps in his grip at the moment. The Call by the Grave is going to come in clutch off the top there. We're going to go for Gadget Trio, and he's going to use the Ash Blossom. Luckily, we have that Called by the Grave in our hand from the top deck, and which will allow us to go full combo from here, and just like that, he knows it's over, especially in this event. And if you think it's that easy to win with Shining Sarcophagus, let me show you how easy it is to beat Shining Sarcophagus. Oh, Rainbow Staple, I hear you saying, this deck is so good, how do you beat it? Well, let me show you. In this replay, we're going against the loner Shining Sarcophagus deck in the event that I've seen a lot of people playing. He's going to start by normal summoning Silver Gadget. We're going to activate the Imperm that is nested nicely in our hand. And that's it. That's how you beat Shining Sarcophagus. Noted that probably should have been a Gadget Trio. Not sure why Silver Gadget is in the structure, but either way, the result would have been the same. So to do a quick overview of the deck, I think there are a few things we do need to discuss. One, the pros. It's very easy to play. It's very easy to navigate. Summon Gadget Trio, get your Shining Sarcophagus, Ties That Bind, and all of a sudden you have your end board. Secondly, it's a very fun deck to play. Summoning Gandora is a feeling that can't really be beat other than summoning Grenmarju, but even then, Gandora does a lot more on his own. And for the cons, well, it's fragile. You saw in the few games where we negate the Gadget Trio, they lose, and let me just say, we've been on the receiving end of that a couple of times as well. So if the deck folds to 1 or 2 hand traps, maybe it's not great for the ranked ladder, but let me know in the comments, do you want to see this deck adapted for ladder? Because I'd happily do it. It is a lot of fun to play, and I'm sure there are a couple of engines you could mash in there to really make it work. Anyway, that being said, if you made it this far in the video, please do feel free to hit subscribe. New Yu-Gi-Oh videos each week, and as always, happy dueling.